Hello and welcome to another spiritual learning video. Today we're going over Celtic spirituality. Because the Celtic people of northwestern Europe were a bit out of reach of the Roman Empire and the Roman Church, they were far less influenced by those political and religious systems. This isolation allowed them to maintain their ancient and time-honored practices regarding the dignity of nature and community, the equality of men and women, and their vibrant and poetic imaginations as portals to understanding human beings as well as gods. As Christianity arrived to these cultures and communities, they were able for many centuries to find a beautiful synthesis of these ancient practices and beliefs with the Christian understanding of God's message of divine presence and eternal belonging for everyone. Although no culture contains truth completely or perfectly, the early Christian Celtics were able to see the beauty of the divine in relationship with nature that stressed humility, dignity of all things, and God's presence in and throughout all of creation. They maintained rich spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, communing with nature, care for those in need, hospitality, and poetic use of the imagination and art. They saw in all experiences the presence of the Spirit and were very skilled in seeking encounters with God in all of life. The Celtics believed men and women are equal, able to inspire, lead, and participate in all aspects of community and spiritual practice. And they had a wonderful tradition of cultivating soul friends who took caring responsibility for assisting in the development of and sustained journey of a spiritual life well lived. So many of these practices were lost in Western cultures over the centuries and millennia, but it is quite easy to see how profoundly important these ways of engaging life, one another, earth, and God are to our modern times where community is so dangerously divided. The earth is disastrously damaged in so many ways, and the search for the ultimate meaning is loud and strong around the globe. Celtic Christian spirituality offers a way to reacquaint ourselves with who we really are and who we can always become. The Celts believed in supernatural forces in nature and worshipped gods in sacred places like rivers, lakes, cliffs, and bushes. They built temples, shrines, and sanctuaries at sacred sites. Druids, or Celtic priests, performed rituals and prayers at these sites. They made offerings to the gods to gain favor and to ensure the community's success. These offerings included precious goods, animal sacrifices, and even human sacrifices. They also deposited valuable and everyday goods with the deceased in their tombs. The Celtics buried the deceased in a position of repose, often on or near a wagon. The deceased was clothed in items that may have been decorated with gold, and they also were buried with jewelry such as a neck torque, bracelets, or brooches. The Celtics also performed seasonal rituals. One was called Election of the Kings. They performed this ritual to elect kings that involved sacrificing a bull and having a chosen man drink the blood and eat the meat. Celtic Christian churches exist in the United States in growing numbers, in many cases combining Eastern Orthodox with various aspects of ancient Celtic mythology. One may consider modern Celtic Christianity in the United States to be an example of a revitalization movement. With a religion led by Druids who were loath to commit their knowledge to writing, there are no sacred texts, hymns, or prayers which survive in written records. There are also significant gaps in our knowledge. such as the Celtics' view of their own origins, the universe and their place within it, and the ultimate fate of their world. Nevertheless, we do have, thanks to a combination of studies and methodologies, a reasonable and tantalizing incomplete picture of the gods, beliefs, and religious practices of pre Christian Europe. Variations existed across regions and centuries, but we really spoke about the most common features of the Celtic religion, which included reverence for sacred groves and other natural sites, the dedication of offerings to gods, and burying the dead with valuables. This polytheistic religion of the ancient Celts in the Iron Age Europe remains obscure because of the lack of written record, but yet people are still practicing it today. Thank you so much for joining us for another spiritual learning video. If you like this content, check out our spiritual learning playlist for more. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. We'll see you on the next one.